Welcome back, everybody. Tony here, and I'd like to welcome you all back to more TTBurger game reviews. This is on episode 168 of my Max Payne Series review, and we're at the final part here, episode 168, part 2 of 2. And before I get started here, I want to give a shout out to my buddy JDJanuary89, who's a big fan of the Max Payne franchise. So this is for you, and I hope you're doing well. And also, like I mentioned in part 1, I have a Facebook page. There's a page that me and my friend LLWriter93 created did recently, and if you want to join, the links in the description below to the Facebook page to keep yourself updated with news and everything, and updated videos on the channel and everything and more. And we have a lot to talk about here for part 2. But before we even get started, fresh and hot off the grill, ready to be served on a Sunday barbecue for the summertime coming up in spring, because spring's on its way here. It's a TTBurger recap to show y'all what you missed. I took a look at Max Payne for the PlayStation 2 and gave it an 8 out of 10 because of some technical problems that were in the game, along with the opponent, the enemy AI and stuff, and just like along with a couple other problems there and stuff. But still, it's a fun game, definitely worth owning. It doesn't matter which version you get, you'll be in for a treat for sure. But now we're going to zoom ahead to the year 2003 for the sequel of Max Payne, and I remember seeing the trailer for this online and everything like that, with like hearing the words, "I lied to myself, it wasn't over," and you knew we were going to have an intense game coming up for sure, and we got it right here. This is Max Payne 2, The Fall of Max Payne, released for the PlayStation 2, the Xbox, and the PC. I'm going to be taking a look at the PlayStation 2 version because it's the only version I own, released on October 14th, 2003, which is actually exactly a week before my 15th birthday at the time, so yeah. But now let's get started here. Max Payne 2, The Fall of Max Payne is a good game, slightly better than its predecessor. It improves on certain parts of the process, making it a worthy sequel, but the PlayStation version once again suffers from some technical problems that hurt this version of the game, but still a great game no matter which console you play on here. And you'll be in for a treat as well with the slow motion bullet time once again, with some badass weapons and just a deep dark story and stuff and more. They'll definitely be worthy of a sequel to own in your collection for sure. But now let's get started here. Now the story of Max Payne 2, The Fall of Max Payne takes place 2 years after its predecessor, where Max's life is in ruins, except that after everything that happened to him, his wife Michelle and his infant daughter Rose being murdered, and the Valkyrie drug, and like what happened with him with the DEA and his coworker and best friend Alex Balder, and all the shit he got himself into to uncover the murder of his wife and child, and who was behind framing him for the murder, and figuring out what the heck the drug Valkyrie was and everything. Max Payne had a pretty hard 2 years there, and he has been reinstated to his old job as a New York Police Department detective after he quit the DEA because of all the emotions he went through. One night, he is called to investigate a gunfight at a warehouse owned by one of his associates, Vladimir Lem, where the warehouse has been attacked by a group of cleaners who are actually hitmen in disguise. Along the way, he runs into Mona Sachs, a female character who's thought to have died in the first game, who knows what's going on and knows the answers he's looking for to what happened to him in the first game. And when Max's co-workers like Detective Winterson and stuff like and Captain Bravura know and find out that with him protecting Mona because she's a fugitive, but he knows she is innocent and knows what he wants to know, and he knows what he must do, and they don't want him involved with this at all. Then he goes to see Mona after she is arrested and locked up in jail in the basement of the police station. A bomb goes off in the police station, and Max decides to search for Mona to find find her and protect her and find the answer he's looking for. There's more to the story about the story, but I don't want to say any more because I don't want to spoil it. All I can say is it's a deep story, a sad story. It's one of those revenge stories to find out the answers you're looking for, and with the visual novel scene storytelling once again, it fits the game really well, and I'm glad that they did this, because if it weren't for this, I don't think the story would have been as deep and innovative and stuff. This game also has in-game cutscenes which look quite good, not the best looking, but we'll talk about that right now with the presentation here. The presentation here, I gotta say, the graphics have improved over the first Max Payne. Improved character models with better facial expressions, and the mouths move too, and they move around better, making them more realistic. Because in the last game, they just gestured around while the voiceover played. It didn't look realistic at all. But here, they do a better job with the character models. Though they're not the best looking character models, they're still more detailed. The backgrounds look good. Some of them come off as a little generic and bland though, but still they look great. Especially Mona Saxon's hideout, which is this like funhouse place, which like makes you feel like you're at some carnival haunted house or something like that, or some carnival fun house where you're always prepared to be on your feet to see what happens. It's like when you go to one of those big ass fun houses and you wait in line to get a line to come in and you're in for a treat. It's like you're walking through one of those in a video game, and that's badass there as well. The PlayStation 2 version once again suffers from some frame rate issues, and not only that, the frame rate only runs up to 25 frames per second, and it can bog down when the action gets hot, and it can bog down badly. It's got good graphics though, better than the predecessor for sure. For sound, I gotta say, we have excellent sound, fantastic voice setting mainly from James McCaffrey, who voices Max and does a fantastic job, along with Wendy Hoops, who voices Mona Sax this time. They are the two main people who steal the show for the voice setting. The rest of the voice actors sound good, but these two steal the show definitely. The music is really good. This game actually has more music in it, and I didn't mention that. Like in the first game, there was not much music. It was just basically your footsteps, and it was quiet. But here they actually have more music, and it rocks definitely, along with the weapon sound effects and more. So definitely excellent sound. The gameplay is great, but it has some problems. This is an improvement over the first game where the controls are not as clunky and stuff like that. They're a little smoother. And even though the button layout has changed and stuff, it still works well. It will take time for you to get used to, but it won't take that long. You have a big variety in the weapons once again, plus more weapons and deal with it, which is badass. The slow motion bullet time returns here, and it's just as fun as well. And you can also once again interact with the stuff in the environments by shooting them, or just or using the action button, which is the square button this time, to interact with stuff like radios, TVs, and like light switches or so. And you can talk to people too and stuff too. Like they said they're one-liners, and of course like when you're in the apartment building level, which is what like a big level here. You can like shoot like these like vents that like have water come out. You can mess around with the water systems, shoot like TVs or answering machines or something like that, and jump through windows or so, and it's a lot of fun, definitely. And of course, like you can also play as Mona Sax in certain levels too, adding more replay value to the game and making the game more playable. Because like the first one you just play as Max, but here playing as Mona Sax, it's fun. It definitely has the feel of a darker sequel of a story for it, definitely. And it's a fun game, improved game. But now we got to talk about those bads. Like we have the frame rate issues in the PlayStation 2 version. The frame rate can really bog down. The story once again is short. Like even though it is a little longer, it'll take you about like 7 or 8 hours to beat the game, and there's not much replay value to it unless you want to get the alternate ending on the highest difficulty. And those of you who have gotten the alternate ending, no spoilers, please. No spoilers. And the enemy AI has not improved much. They're still super aggressive and can drain your life within minutes, especially when they use grenades, because the grenades of doom are still here. And it gets pretty intense there too. And the PlayStation bullet time for some reason does not slow down at all with the speed. It still does that normal, which can take you out of the bullet time, but it didn't really bother me that much. But the worst part of the game is the messed up save system in the PlayStation 2 version. Remember how in the original Max Payne, the PlayStation 2 version I mean to say, where it auto-saved every time you got to a new level? Well, not here. In the PlayStation 2 version, you have to manually save, which means you have to press the select button, save to save the game, and if you don't save at all, you go all the way back to the beginning of the game. And it is very monotonous and stuff and tedious because it takes you out of the game where you have to save every 5-10 minutes to avoid dying, because if you don't save at all, you're going back to the very beginning. It's almost as bad as Tomb Raider: The Angel of Darkness with the save feature. We had to save after every jump or enemy because you couldn't go 2-3 seconds without dying. And here, it's not as bad because like the game is not like it doesn't have all those cheap deaths or so. But of course, like there are times where you fall from a rate of height and stuff, and you come very close to the end of the level, only leaving to have to go back to like a big part of the game because you've got to save. Yeah, that can get on your nerves a lot, definitely. And if you save with not much health or ammo, you're fucked because there's no level select option for you to undo the mistake you made. So if you save, not much health, back to the beginning of the game for you. And it can get frustrating because of this, but it's still a great game overall. Still I should still consider it better than its predecessor for sure. So final thoughts series, if you like the original Max Payne, wants more Max Payne sequel action, the Max Payne 2, The Fall of Max Payne will not disappoint you at all. The rating for this will be a slightly higher rating, it's a little bit slightly of an 8.5 out of 10 because the complaints I have with the game, but still, it's definitely worth owning in your collection for sure. And if you like the first Max Payne, then I definitely recommend this. And I know there's Max Payne 3, but like I said, I'm not unique. I didn't like the game, so I feel like Max Payne 3 didn't even need to be made because this game ended the series on a perfect note. I didn't think it needed it at all. So I'm just saying there. But that's just me though. If you want to play Max Payne 3, go ahead. But when it comes to Max Payne, I recommend the 2 games on the PlayStation, Xbox, PC, and them and stuff, and they're definitely worth owning for sure. And it's a badass third-person action shooter and stuff like that. They definitely give that game a great feel for sure. So final thoughts here, definitely pick Max Payne, Max 2, Fall Max Payne up. And if you like what you see here, subscribe, like the video, comment down below, join my Discord group, TTBurger Gaming Tonight, and also join my Facebook group called TTBurger88 because the group was just made recently. So click on the link if you want to join to get updates on the channel and more. But all I gotta say is Tony, peace out, have a good day, stay tuned for episode 169. What will we cover then? Find out. That's all I gotta say. Peace out, everyone, and have a good day and enjoy the St. Patrick's Day week.